Hi everyone, it's Marisa from bumblebeeapothecary.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make our favorite homemade healthy salad dressings. These are really easy to put together. It lets you skip all the inflammatory oils and sketchy ingredients that are in store-bought salad dressings a lot of the time, and they are approved for the GAPS diet and they're super easy to make. So let's jump in and get started. First one that I'm going to show you how to make is a basic Italian vinaigrette recipe, and then I'm going to show you a few different variations that you can do on this. So the first part of the recipe is very, very simple. It's going to be basically oil and vinegar. You want to use high quality cold pressed oils when you're making these. Either olive oil or avocado oil work well for this. I'm going to use a pint-sized jar for this recipe. So it's a 2-cup or pint jar. And I'm going to fill it about half of the way with my oil. I'm using olive oil. And then I'm going to fill it about 3/4 of the way, so it's like half as much vinegar as I have olive oil in there. 3/4 of the way with vinegar. Raw apple cider vinegar is what I usually use, and if you're on GAPS, you'll want to stick with that. You can use something like a balsamic vinegar if you're not on GAPS. Next, I add just a sprinkle to taste of some salt. I'm using my high quality mineral salt. Either Celtic sea salt or Baja Gold are my favorite choices. And then that's really it for this most basic recipe. Just some oil and vinegar with some salt and pepper to taste. So again, it's half of the jar with oil and then another quarter, so filling it about 3/4 of the way with vinegar. And then you just shake that really well, which mixes it up, and pour it over your salad and you're done. You can also go from this very basic recipe and add some spices, like some Italian seasoning. I have this blend that I get from Azure Standard that I really like, that is a bunch of different Italian themed spices. This makes a really nice thing to add to an Italian vinaigrette recipe. Or you could add an individual one, like just some oregano or just some basil, either dried or fresh and minced very finely. So I usually just add, I don't usually measure, so I just usually add what looks good to me. I think it usually ends up being about 1/4 teaspoon of any of those herbs all together. And then same thing, you just shake it up and it's ready to go. Another variation that you can do with this vinaigrette recipe is to turn it into a honey mustard vinaigrette. This can be with or without the Italian seasonings, but to do that, I add about a teaspoon of either regular yellow or Dijon mustard. You do want to make sure that it's a version that fits with the GAPS diet if you're on GAPS, and it's pretty easy usually to find an organic, all natural mustard that does fit with GAPS. It has allowed ingredients, so I add about a teaspoon of that, and then about 2 teaspoons of raw honey. Then once you have those things in, just same as before, put on your lid and shake very well. And you can see how it gets nicely emulsified just with shaking. Sometimes you have to shake a little bit more to make sure that the honey gets mixed in well. And then it's ready to pour over your salad and enjoy. You'll want to store this in the refrigerator to keep it fresh. Oftentimes the oil will kind of solidify in the refrigerator, so you just want to bring it out and bring it to room temperature for about 20 minutes or so before you plan on eating your salad, so that it has time to come to room temperature and be nice and pourable again. And it'll separate out in the refrigerator, and that's completely fine. You just shake before you want to use it and you're good to go. The next salad dressing recipe that I want to show you is a creamy ranch type of salad dressing. So for the base of this, you're going to start off with homemade kefir or yogurt. I have videos that show you how to make your own kefir and yogurt at home. So you're going to start by adding just shy of 2 cups of either kefir or yogurt, somewhere between 1 3/4 to not quite 2 cups, to a container where you can easily whisk and mix. This one I find works better if you mix it and then store it in a jar rather than trying to shake it like the other one. And then to your kefir or yogurt, we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic powder. You'll want to make sure that this is a very clean recipe that has no flow agents or anything else added. Azure Standard makes a really nice organic garlic powder and onion powder, and I'll have a link to them down below. And then we're also going to add a teaspoon of onion powder. Again, making sure it's really clean with no added ingredients, preferably organic, and Azure has that again, like I said. And then after that, you're going to add some spices. Now you can add either fresh or dried. I like to go for like what you would think of as poultry type spices. If you have in your garden some thyme and sage, parsley, chives, any of those kinds of things chopped up finely, that will work very nicely. Or you can add like a poultry seasoning blend. An Italian seasoning blend will also work really well. I'm gonna do this poultry seasoning blend, and I usually add 2 to 3 teaspoons, depending on how of a strong spice flavor that you want. So 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. And then we're just gonna mix everything together really well. A whisk or a fork works great for this. Make sure especially that those powdered garlic and onion get whisked in nice and smoothly so that they don't stay in little chunks to surprise anybody. The other thing that we add is some salt and pepper, just to taste, just a shake to taste. Nice mineral salt, and then some pepper, just a little bit, and then we mix everything together. And then this particular recipe, you can use it right away, but I find that the flavors really develop and become nicer if it's allowed to sit for at least a few hours in the refrigerator. A few days is even better, and then it really comes out nicely. And then once it's all mixed together, I like to store it in a pint jar. And then, like I said, either right away or after letting it sit for a bit of time, it's ready to pour over your salad. It also goes really nicely over chicken dishes or fish. Now, a variation on this one, if you'd like a thicker, more of a ranch dip, then you'll want to use half sour cream and half mayonnaise, or you can use all homemade sour cream. I have a video that shows how to make your own sour cream at home, which I'll link below, and I also have a video that shows how to make your own mayonnaise at home. I'll link those below. But that makes a nice thick ranch dip that you can use for dipping vegetables in or whatever you want. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how to make those homemade salad dressings and all the different variations that you can make with them. Be sure and check out that description box for links to where I like to buy a lot of the ingredients, as well as those other related videos that I mentioned, how to make yogurt, kefir, sour cream, mayonnaise. I also have some other condiment videos up, ketchup and barbecue sauce. Also check out that description box for links to free ebooks and other goodies. I have a free GAPS Diet Getting Started guide and a free class on how to start the GAPS diet with more confidence and less confusion. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody else who you think would like some easy, homemade, healthy salad dressing recipes. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I get out 2 new videos every week on nourishing recipes and natural living. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.